Yo, what's going on, everybody? Patch here, 1878 Casuals, joined with our boy, Sammy Boy, and the man they call English, talking about the Europa League game on Thursday against Real Sociedad away, and then looking ahead a little bit to our game against Villa, also away on Sunday, 6 a.m. kickoff for us here in the States. So Thursday against Real Sociedad, obviously we got boned in that first game by that ref who had his head up his ass. So hoping for a better result away against the Spanish side, who's won all their games in the competition so far. So obviously, they're not a bad side. We've been on form lately and gotten some good results. So hopefully we can replicate that on Thursday and get the result that we need. We need 2 goals or more to top the group, which is what we're looking to do. So we don't have to play the failed Champions League sides. We've been having a lot of shots on goal in these last couple of games. So I feel like, 2-0 on paper doesn't seem like the hardest thing in the world, but that's the thing about footy ball is anything can happen. So, thinking about the way the boys have been playing lately, what do you reckon, Sam?
Oh, I go with English for a second. Give me 1 second.
Right. Really?
Are we sure we're live? Because
we're live. I'm just sorting something out.
Are you just doing a Faulty Towers thing on us or what?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, mate. I mean, it's the playing is getting better. Obviously, the team's building, they're moving the ball better, more shots on goal. Unfortunately, at this level, shots on goal don't count for nothing. I mean, look, I know I'm the first one to always say, don't forgive you for not scoring, but they won't forgive you for not shooting, which is true. But you got to start converting some of these goals because the other teams, all it takes is one. And I feel confident maybe we'll get one. But they've took us at home as well. It's not like it was on their home ground, and we're on their home ground on Thursday.
Yeah.
Everybody's always out for a scalp when it's United. The upside is that they are down a few players, quite a few players it seems. So the boys have got a fire up their backside at the moment, but. Again, if he goes with Maguire and they're talking about bringing Lindelof being back in. Martial's supposed to be healthy, but why are we relying on him when he's, every other game he takes a knock? I don't know. I'd like to see the team, his actual starting 11 when it comes out, not the guesswork that's going on right now. I think we'll beat them. I don't know if we'll get it by 2. I don't know if we'll be able to win by a 2-goal margin to take a stop. You know what? I fancy us doing Europa if we come in runners up in this one. It's seems to me it's not always about finishing on the top of the group your first leg out. So I still say we're going to do it. I still say we're going to go runners up in the Premier, and I still say we're going to take the FA Cup. We'll see. But Villa should be interesting. So.
Yeah.
I think the issue pointing on the players that are missing for Real Sociedad, and it's quite a few.
There is.
They got David Silva is one of them out, so that's a big miss for them.
They've also lost the last 2 in the league out there.
Okay, that's good to know.
They're on a downward right now. So, but home ground, home support. We'll see. I mean, we've travelled well. We went to Cyprus, but the weekend we should have had way more than one. It wasn't De Gea again. I was at the store with my folks today, and one of the lads that works there is actually a West Ham fan. And when I walked in, he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, De Gea," but thank goodness for De Gea, right?
Yeah, yeah. Man's found a form, and he's pretty much telling the Spain head coach to do one after not picking him for the World Cup squad by having a performance like that. In terms of, we talked about injuries and how Maguire came in and actually had himself a decent game against West Ham. I'd still take Lindelof over Maguire in that center back role, just because I feel like Lindelof has more, knowledge of the game. He's more aware and stuff like that. And like I said, we had trouble with the Spanish sides. I mean, Sevilla, Villarreal, Real Sociedad, they always give us a hard time, and especially now that Dracula is. Oh, he's not Real Sociedad. I'm thinking about the weekend. The Spanish sides always give us trouble. So, how do you reckon we should set up? I mean, who are we thinking that would start in the midfield? You got to think that they're going to try to play through us or play around us or try to be clever with it. I don't recall, and maybe you guys can help me out, if they were sitting back last game, 10 men behind the ball or whatever. Is this the type of game where we need an Eriksen or something like that in the midfield? Because Bruno can play this game, but he is suspended for the Villa game on Sunday. So, you got to think we're going to need as much creativity as we can muster. Is this the game for somebody like Fred and Casemiro to start in that partnership? Or are we needing, an Eriksen Casemiro or even a Scotty and Eriksen or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the biggest question is what the midfield is going to be. And Real Sociedad, they can lose this game because I think we have to score like 2 goals.
We have to score 2 goals or more, because otherwise, if it's 1-0, then they win on goal differential.
So they're probably going to sit back.
We have to win by 2 to win the group. If we win by 1, we still go. We're still good to go. It's just we're talking about winning the group.
Yeah.
But, that midfield. He's got. I think Bruno, because Bruno's suspended for the weekend, so use him up for this game because he's going to be rested.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
Eriksen always a bonus. Scotty, absolutely, because he's a fighter. Anybody with Casemiro, because he should understand that league. He should understand Spanish, and he should be able to set that back. And obviously, the way that De Gea and Martinez were hugging after the save, the back four and the goalkeeper are obviously getting together, uniting, which is good. I think it needs leadership, and I think Bruno on the pitch, hopefully, regardless of whether he's wearing the armband or Harry is, he'll still lead. Fred, I can't. It just doesn't click for me. I mean, every now and then he does a bit of magic, but it's just not consistent enough. And I agree with you, Lindelof over Maguire, because at least Lindelof is 200% all the time, even when he makes a mistake. At least I can never ever knock that guy. I say it over and over again. I know every week. But he's at 200%. At least he gives it that. He plays for the badge,
Yeah.
So, but we watched the Real last game, Patch, didn't we? With Fish, and they didn't sit back, but they certainly didn't. They made no effort in coming at us, especially at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I mean they might be content to just nick one and sit on it.
Right. We got to worry about the same ref.
Right. Yeah. Well, right? Like I said, I think that's why, for me, at least in the midfield, we're going to need all the creativity we can get. And for me, even though Fred's had some good through balls and some good passes and things like that, Eriksen or Bruno any day over Fred when it comes to creativity. Right. But Fred also gives fucking everything, but he's still missing. But, so does Eriksen. And Bruno, I guess you could maybe say yay or nay. I mean, I know he's not convinced everybody of his, tracking back, but if he's not, Ten Hag's going to pull him. So, I think, and then with Martial coming back, do you start Martial? I don't even know if he'll make the bench on Thursday, but I gotta think you got to put your best 11 available to you. I think Ten Hag is like, look, you're my starting 11. You guys are going to play every week. Yeah. Stay fucking fit.
Yeah. Well, Fred, I mean, the thing is with Fred, though, is people effort-wise, but, if you give the ball away and you make as many mistakes, I don't care how much your effort is to get it back. You're making the mistakes. You're creating the situation in the first place. And he gives the ball away way too much.
Yeah.
And again, listen, I can't play. I can't play Premier League football, and I feel for them in front of 80,000 people, but I also don't get paid what they get paid. It's just not. It's too. It's an old saying: once is an accident, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action, and it's happening over and over again. I think. What about? I mean, are they going to go? He's not going to go with Sancho up front. I don't think he's going to start with. I think he'll start the same way with Ronaldo, Rashford, and who do you have on the right? And maybe Anthony. I don't know.
Yeah, if Anthony.
I think that those three up front can't do it, and they're not supplied the ball enough by a McTominay, a Fred. No, not McTominay, Casemiro, and a Bruno. Then there's something wrong with us. Hopefully he keeps Shaw in the lineup. Because he was looking strong and he's looking good.
You wonder if this would be the game to start Ronaldo, because we're playing a Spanish side. It's a slower league. It's not as physical. It's not as fast. Ronaldo obviously knows the league really well. So what do you reckon, Sam? You start Ronnie up front, or would you risk throwing Martial just to the wolves straight off the bat?
Well, I definitely wouldn't put Martial in. I'd be surprised if Martial makes the bench even. I think he's going to be eased in, and he'll probably be on the bench for the Villa game. But I think it's a bit too early for him to even make the bench.
You don't think he'll even travel then, Sam?
What?
You don't think he'll even travel?
I'm not sure, because we brought him in pretty quickly last time, and then he got injured again. So I'm kind of wary of us doing that again. Then I think we do, even though this game is like so important, like we do need to put in a few more faces, just so that, like, not everybody's not getting tired. So like I know you want to put Shaw in, but I think Malacia was really good the other day. So I wouldn't be against Malacia starting this one.
Yeah, he starts, and if he's shitting it, pull him and throw in Shaw. At least Shaw won't play a full match; he'll only be partially winded. But like we said, now that he's on these veggie bakes instead of those
pies,
whatever, the sausage rolls, he's looking fit and lean and ready to go. But so Bandito in the chat is saying Sociedad played anti-football last match, and we know that that's kind of what a lot of the Spanish sides like to do, especially when we played Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and they were just trying to kill momentum and dive and roll on the ground with their theatrics every chance they got. And it's the perfect thing to call it too, is anti-football. So I think part of Ten Hag's plan is going to have to be how to figure out how to stop that. And to just play our game but I think he can do it. I mean, in Ten Hag we trust, right? So, yeah, boys. I mean, what do you reckon? I mean, I know we can't sort of rest on what we've done in the past, but you got to figure we're playing well. And even though you said English shots on goal don't count if you're not scoring them, I think the boys in Ten Hag will know what needs to be done, which is win by 2 goals or more. And I think that's what they're going to go for. I don't think they're just going to try to win the game.
I agree. I mean, it's not that. I'm happy to see the shots on goal. I wish there was a lot more shots or attempts coming from outside the box, because we've got the guys that can do it, but nobody seems to be confident enough yet. I don't understand quite that they've got to walk it across the line, but and that's confidence in the guys. That the more shots go on, obviously, the better they feel about themselves and the teamwork. Agreed. My point is that you just, unfortunately, you can't afford for those goals not to go in. Shots not to go in. Can't afford to hit the bar. I mean, it is what it is. The problem with the anti-football, as Bandito says, is we need to, unfortunately, figure out a way to not allow the dives and the theatrics to happen when the tackles going, because we're playing to the ref. The referee is, if he's a European ref, it's Spanish side, if it's etc. They're gonna cater towards that referee, and the referee is gonna give that foul. That's just how it is. The Premier League referee is gonna knocking it off. So this referee, if is not exactly prone to a physical game, should we say, or inclined to give Man United any calls. So the back four, they got to be real careful. They got to keep their hands behind their backs and watch the tugging of the shirts, and hopefully, hit them hard, but hit them hard when the ref ain't looking.
Yeah. And another thing Bandito was saying: win the ball back high up the pitch and keep the pressure on. We also can't allow them to play their game.
I think they're counting on a mistake in the high press, catching the ball there and hitting us on the break as fast as they possibly can, beating the 2 centre backs. That's my guess on what they're their plan would be if we play as we've been playing for this season. If we're pressing high and pressing up and we're trying to move the ball out fast, then I think they're going to try and win the ball quickly, hit us on the break. And that's why I'm concerned about Fred being,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always interested to see, because I think it's a big question of how our midfield works with Casemiro and Fred compared to with Casemiro and a more attacking player like Eriksen. So I still think there is a good chance that we are going to see Casemiro and Fred, but then it's like, does that then allow Bruno to go forward more and to have more space up front, which did seem to happen in, was it the Sheriff game or which game was it where Bruno kind of ran the show? So I'm not saying I want to see Fred start, but I think there's a good chance Ten Hag might be.
Yeah, Scotty's got the ability to score goals and does score goals too.
I definitely wouldn't start Scotty. Maybe as a sub, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. I think Scotty, Fred, Shaw, maybe just because, like you said, Malacio was playing pretty well when he came on. I think those are the boys to bring in off the bench. But
what about Sancho? What do you guys think Sancho's
I don't think Sancho starts. I think if Anthony's healthy, then Anthony starts.
I agree.
And then you put, whether it be Bruno or Eriksen, it's either going to be Bruno or Eriksen on the wing, because then the other one's going to sit behind Rashford, unless he goes with two guys up front and has Rashford maybe playing behind Ronaldo or something like that. Because we have to remember that Real Sociedad doesn't need to score a goal. They can sit back the whole fucking game.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like they just may let it. I mean, they'll probably try to get one, but they may just be content to sit back and let us keep the possession and just put 11 men behind the ball and just,
That's it. That's what I'm saying. I agree. They're going to try and hit us on the break. They're going to try and get one, win at home in front of the home ground. But that's it. I think that's absolutely right. They're going to just defend high up, wait, try and get that ball away from us around halfway line on a break or a high press, and then come at us that way to score that way. That's what, or they're going to go for a free kick or try and get a penalty or something. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of football from them. I think they're going to try and shut, especially with some key players missing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they won't want to risk it.
Maybe. Right.
They probably know that we're going to go all out attack too. I mean, I would expect that we're just going to go right.
They have to know
at them.
But then again, I think that Ten Hag's isn't going to play for a draw. He's not going to come out and not care. But I don't think he's that pressured for the 2 goals to win, because we know we're going to go through. We're going to come up. Anyway. It's not like he's not going to play. He's not going to not play for the win, if you know what I'm saying. But he's not going to go out and play for a draw or. But I don't think he's going to risk the boys and say, "Look, you've got to win this. It doesn't matter if we win this group. It has to win this group." It's not. I don't think the pressure's on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a must-win game. It's like we definitely want to win, but like if we do lose or draw or only win by 2-1, it's not the end.
Hopefully that creates a comfort level in the guys, and they play football. They're the boys having a game of football, and because there's no pressure, they are able to have a crack from outside the penalty box, etc., and the goals start going in.
Yeah.
I think it's also such a big test for us too to play another Spanish team, because our record is so bad against the Spanish sides that we really do need to make a statement here, because there's such a good chance that we're going to be facing, at least one more Spanish side to win the Europa League.
Something happens to De Gea whenever we play a Spanish team. It's like kryptonite for him.
He's too friendly with them in the beginning.
I think you're right, Sam. But something happens. The Europa final, he was like, "Are you kidding me?" Remember that final? He was like he was on their side.
I mean, I don't want to talk shit about De Gea, because I think he was amazing against.
He is amazing, mate. Just playing against Spanish teams, he's a little off. That's all.
He's got to be like more like Roy Keane. The beginning of the game, like you can't feel friendly with opposition. You got to get ready for war.
When he levitates and spins around, you mean Roy Keane, the Exorcist?
Would you guys tuck Rashford in or keep him out for the width?
I'd go the same way lined up as we lined up at the weekend.
against West Ham.
I still
Have
feel
him
really with
outside
Ronaldo,
and Chrissy in the middle.
because I mean Ronaldo he's scored like 1 goal in how many games? So I don't want to have a whole half of Ronaldo missing and just being frustrated, because that's a good chance that's going to happen. So it's like a part of me wants to see Rashford start, because now we like in the middle, because now we know he can score with his head. So part of me wants to see like Rashford in the middle, Anthony on the one side, and I don't know, maybe Sancho, maybe, yeah. I mean, it would have to be Sancho.
Doesn't have to be in the middle to score with his head. He was outside of Ronaldo when he scored with the head at the weekend. I'd like to see Ronaldo being a playmaker, mate. You know, his knowledge of football and his understanding of the game is so amazing because of his history in the game, that I'd like to see him being a playmaker for us. You know, moving the ball, you know, changing the left, right, up the middle. But I don't know if he'll come back from being an attacking forward to the midfield to do that. But I would like to see that. But I think he goes up the middle, Anthony out and Rashford out on the wings, and you know, you get a good ball whipped in by Anthony onto Rashford's head. The way Rashford's playing with it right now, that's a goal right there.
Yeah. What about Bandito saying Rashford and Shaw is a good partnership? So maybe sticking Rashford on the left side with Shaw as the you know, wing back or left back, however you want to play him, has been pretty nice lately.
Well, what was the comment on WhatsApp this morning about the speaking English? I mean, Rashford and Shaw speak the same language, so that's a good start.
Right. Yeah,
listen, I'm all about Shaw. I think he's great. I think he's done us no wrong ever. I think he's brilliant. I think he did well for England. So he's always going to get my vote. Sammy?
Well, yeah, I think I mean, it's an interesting point that Mike's bringing up too, is like those partnerships between the fullbacks and the wings, because that's always been something United's been strong at least in the past when we've been good. You know, you got like David Beckham and Gary Neville and Giggsy and Evra. So it'd be nice to start seeing more of that partnership between Shaw and Rashford working. And I mean, Dello's just amazing right now. So I think it works with him.
Shout out to Jose Mourinho for calling it, saying we've got a right back for the next 10 years.
Yeah, we can thank
everyone's favorite villain, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was all worth everything else for him. Right? Just
right. Fishy asking if Sancho should get a chance on the left wing. I don't think he's going to start. No.
It's so hard to call who Ten Hag's going to go with for this game, because
Garnacho,
Garnacho played well when we played Sheriff. So I mean, maybe this is a chance for Garnacho to get some more minutes. Like I said, it's not a game we really have to win. We would just like to win so we can win the group. But you know, I think, you know, if you're thinking about the game at the weekend, you know, 3 days later, wanting to rest players and making sure, because I feel like the Premier League's more important because we are still in the race for top 4 and in theory for the title. Will we get it? That's another story. But you know, we're still in the race for a lot of things. So I think, you know, this is where Ten Hag's management comes really into play and trying to figure out who gets a couple minutes. And even if maybe Garnacho or maybe Sancho starts the first half, Garnacho comes on the second half, or vice versa, or he's just like, bucket, we're going to keep the strongest starting 11 I got. You know, let's swing for the fences, try to get, because I know he's full aware of the fact that we need to win by 2-0 to win the group and not have to play any of the Champions League dropout sides, which increases our chances of getting farther, you know, if we're not having to play Barcelona, or even though Juventus are shit right now. They didn't win a single game of their Champions League group stage, I don't think. So
the young'uns, you know, maybe if we do well in the first half, see a couple of young'uns get a start. I mean, Villa at the weekend, we've beaten Villa more times than any other team we played ever. We've done Villa 85 times in the history of our meetings. So I'm not too concerned about Villa. I'd like to maybe even see some of the younger guys get a crack at that. I think he's got to bring some of the youth through a little bit, and this might be a good game for that. You know, because as I said, the pressure's not on. I mean, Bishop was on the bench at the weekend. I mean, give him a shot. But I also, like I said, I'd like to see some of the guys that are on loan come back, but that's another day, another chat. But I think that if we do well in the first half, if we get one maybe in the first half and we're one up, I think he'll rest some players in the second half. If we don't, I think he'll keep going for it. But at least there's no pressure. And I think right now, with top teams losing to everybody. I mean, the Premier League is pretty much it's anyone's title, but anyone can win any weekend. So it'd be nice to have a game for them with the pressure, as you say, off, because we don't need to. But hopefully they don't get complacent and get lazy, and then they bang in a few and embarrass us. So
yeah. No, I mean, I think Ten Hag's definitely going to go for the win, but he just may not be as arsed about wanting to win 2-0 or by 2 goals or more. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be tough nonetheless. We're going to need to, have our wits about us. Sociedad are probably still going to go for the win.
What does Fixie ask you the question about Sancho? What does he think about if he should start or not? I mean, he asked the question, right?
Fish, chime in. What do you reckon for Sancho? And then,
well, Mikey
or Bandito, whoever. And while we wait for their response, looking ahead to the weekend against Villa, we'll probably do another video before the weekend about the Villa game. But just as a little, teaser, Villa's got Unai Emery that beat us in the final and got some results against us when he was the gaffer over at the Gunners.
They're going to be up for that game. I mean, they got a new manager. They're playing at home.
It's going to be a different Villa than Stevie G or Sean Dyche, or sorry, not Sean Dyche, Dean Smith. So, what's up, Halo? So,
he had to get his nose in somewhere, didn't he?
He's like, hey, I'm still here, guys. No, so it's going to be good. Bandito just said, how far do you think we go in the competition in Europa League? I think we can win it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're playing the way we do against, like I said, Arsenal, Liverpool, even though we should have had a couple more, the way we played against Chelsea. I mean, we grinded it out against West Ham. Now we're grinding out games that normally we would have lost and would have been the, shoulda, woulda, coulda games. So if we would have won that game, we would have gotten top 4. We should have won that by 2 goals. So it's like,
That's why those shots on goal count, man.
You can have, it's like, and who I think Van Hal or something like that said it. He's like, I don't care if we had 90% of the possession in the games, because at the end of the day, it's not the guy that was talking to the girl all night at the pub. It's the guy that takes the girl home. And he may have only had 10% of the
Van Hal said that?
Somebody said it. Maybe not Van Hal, but somebody said it. Or maybe someone was
ever spoke to a girl, did he?
Maybe somebody was taking the piss out of Van Hal for saying, oh, but we had possession or something like that. That might have been it. Anyways.
Paulie Mourinho.
Probably. Having a go. Bandito said
Rashford. Crazy things.
Yeah. Bandito said it's Rashford for me on the left. I'm thinking that's the move, and then play Ronaldo up top. He might be crazy enough to throw Martial in. So we'll see. I mean, I guess it just depends on how well he trained and how many days he trained. But the mental toughness, as Bandito is saying, has improved immensely. So you got to feel like, and Ten Hag's probably running these boys ragged in the sense that their training is intense and it's getting them, properly fit. And, but yeah, I mean, I think we're going to probably see a little different lineup for this game, just because I said for the sole purpose of that, it's not a must win. Of course, we'd love to win, but it's not a must win. And I think,
I think he's managing. I think he's leading from the front. I think I'm getting a feeling that he's insulating them from the BS in the press and all the other crap that comes with being in a Premier League football player, like Fergie used to. I feel that there's a lot less, drama and negativity flying around, which is highly important, especially in the dressing room. The vibe I get when I see them together and all the players, and from him and their interaction with them, is that the toxicity in the dressing room is definitely evaporated that I always said and believed that was in play, and it was a big issue when Pogba and some of the guys were there. So I think that's great. I think he's done the exorcism, which is really important. I love the way they're coming together. I think that Villa won't be an issue. But again, can't get complacent. But yeah, they had a good result. The first weekend, Stevie was gone, but last weekend they didn't. So I mean, you know, we'll respect Louis if you're watching, mate. Sorry, but I don't think that's the problem. But I think he's just got to get some consistency in that back four. It's just every time they play a backward pass, or it just my heart goes. You know, it's just not. Yeah. And they, for some reason, it's the back post. Back post. The last 2 seasons, they just don't seem to be able to, whichever side they're coming at this one, back post has always seemed to be wide open. And if Harry's on, there's always a gap in the middle. So, you know, again, if there was a quick fix, anyone could do the job, right? But I certainly don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback. But you know, it's getting better. That's for sure. You know.
Yeah. Fishy says, I think we have to keep Sancho. He's going to be a great player. German league is a lot different than the Premier League. He just has to adapt. I say Sancho on the left, Rashi in the middle, and Anthony or CR7 on the right. Yeah, I mean, I think Sancho is going to be. I think Sancho is a great player. He's just off form right now, and so maybe he shows something to Ten Hag in training that makes Ten Hag go, okay, you're starting on Thursday. But you know, right now, for me, there are players that are in better form that can play in that position, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. I think.
Rashford has scored those goals when he played on the left. When he scored the headers, I think Ronaldo was still on, right?
Yeah, Ronaldo was in the middle.
Yeah.
He scored those goals. He was on the wing. Rashford was on the wing. But I agree with Fish. We need to keep Sancho. I don't think he's up to start right now.
Yeah, he's going to work.
Find a little bit of form. Score a couple of goals, maybe coming on as a sub. I don't think he starts, but keep him absolutely. Yeah.
What were you saying, Sam?
I was just saying, Sancho, he's got to fight for his place. Like every player, and it's good that we have competition for places now. You know, like Shaw and Malacia fighting for that left back place. But your Rashford and Sancho fighting for the left wing spot, and you know, Garnacho is coming in there now. So it's definitely a lot of hard work that's been done in training that we're seeing on the pitch.
No, and Bandito saying this side is once again very likable. I agree. I mean, I think like we've said before, we're starting to see an identity in this team, which is something we've been missing for a long time. It doesn't feel as much like of a mashup of other managers' wish list players anymore. It feels like players bought for a certain style, and they're starting to gel, and you know, we're seeing that in the results. I mean, everybody thought Liverpool and Arsenal were probably going to shit on us the way we've been playing. And I don't even count the City game. And I'm not just saying that because I'm bitter. I'm saying that because we were just having an off day. We were hungover, whatever it was. That wasn't, you know, if they had played us when we were playing properly, we would have seen a very different result. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the way we played against them was the way that Tottenham played against us.
Agreed.
And unfortunately, when you got somebody like Haaland, man, when you play that way, that you're going to get punished, and you're going to get punished hard. I agree with you, Matt Patch. It's beginning to be a team again, not a bunch of individuals who obviously didn't care about the badge, the team, the club, the supporters. They just were getting paid and it's coming on there. The Pogba syndrome, as I call it. But now there's a team match, you know, and I count that to Bruno and Martinez. I mean, I think that guy arrived and he was like, "This is all right. I'm here, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I'm gonna." Every time he touches that badge, you can see the belief in his eyes. It's not like a guy who happens to get a goal, taps his badge a little bit. No, you can see the passion in him. I love it.
You put like 110% in every.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and if I could take the effort that Lindelof puts in, put it into every other player, we'd be unstoppable.
Are you talking about Lindelof or Martinez?
No, I'm saying that Martinez helps bring that back forward together as a group, and the unity has built a club unity. I'm saying that Lindelof's effort that he always puts in, I wish I could put that into every other player in the club, you know, and we'd be unbeatable.
I think, you know, also the arrival of Martinez and probably, you know, even Anthony as well has given the rest of these boys a bit of a boost. And has, you know, that mindset has permeated and dare I say, infected the rest of the players for the good, obviously. And you know, I think these boys are developing something good, and you know, but you know, we still need some other players. Obviously, we still need a striker. If we get another midfield, then we need another right back, just in case Delo goes down. Knock wood, that doesn't happen. You know, I think we'll be much better. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get anything in January. Because I don't think Ten Hag is just going to buy someone because he's available. He's got to fit a certain style and stuff like that. But maybe Frankie de Jong is rethinking his actions. But at this point, fuck him. Don't need it.
I don't know who's even going to be available after the World Cup. It might the market might be very, 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 very weak after the World Cup. A lot of people might just be like, forget, not up for it, not fit, not who knows.
Half of them are going to come back injured too.
It's a real strange time right now. I mean, I was talking to my dad today about this. I don't recall, or even as a time ever that the World Cup interrupted. There was an international break for a week, maybe a week. There was one weekend you missed the Premier, not for the World Cup or a tournament in the middle of a season. It's crazy.
In fucking Qatar, that's how many hours away from.
And don't forget, our boys are supposed to come back and then finish the Premier League and then be ready to start the new season. I mean, that's asking a lot of people, regardless of how much they get paid.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
to me, just to watch it.
Well, yeah. At this point, it's like we're just animals in the zoo for people's entertainment, or not we. Like I'm playing the Premier League, but you know what I'm saying. And there's no real consideration for the players and their health and stuff like this. We really are turning into fucking American sports, aren't we? NFL doesn't give a shit about their players. Mm-hmm. So it's for the love of money now instead of for the love of the game, isn't it?
I disagree on one thing, though. I think that when we're at a game in a pub and people are watching us, I think we're very entertaining.
No, I think we're entertaining. I think we are entertaining, but I mean, just professional athletes in general, but I suppose mostly football players because there's no World Cup for baseball or nothing like, you know what I'm saying? So
have you ever watched Fishy when he's singing? That is a professional athlete, my friend.
the way he uses those vocal cords, he has. Yeah, no, I mean. But I don't know. We'll see. It's impossible to tell. You hope there's so many players injured already, and that World Cup is a couple of weeks away. So, which is really sad to see. It's just like you're gonna have it. Imagine if Ronaldo gets injured and Messi gets injured, and a couple of these other players get injured and they can't go to the World Cup. Who's gonna give a shit? It's gonna be Messi and Ronaldo's last World Cup probably. But you're shoving it in the middle of the season just because Qatar paid the most money. Fuck that.
I suppose Beckham and Galaxy will care if Ronaldo and Messi get injured. If what I hear is true, that they were going to be coming stateside next year or the year after. But
he's quite a contract with PSG. I think Messi. I think that's why he's doing that. He'll probably end up in America, but I don't think it'll be next season. Messi.
I mean, Messi and Ronaldo could still boss the MLS. They could boss the MLS when they're in their 40s. Just like fucking Ibrahimovic did. He wasn't in his 40s, but he was close to it. All right, boys. I think that's going to do it for us. We kept you waiting long enough. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but hey, we're learning. We're growing. It happens. So bear with us. We appreciate the support, and we love you guys for watching. Cheers to everyone we watch that was watching tonight. We'll come back next time bigger and better. Shout out to our sponsors at Terrace Cult and our lovely friends at Moo Moo Mia Ice Cream. Head on down to Monrovia or Montrose and get you some. They just released new flavors, so that's something to be excited about. Anyways, from English, Sam the lad, and me, Sir Patch, that's it. 1878 Casuals. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. All right. Cheers.
Out.